Namaste to one and all. Welcome you all again on the online course of School of Yoga Therapy, Institute of Salutogenesis and Complementary Medicine, Sri Balaji Vidyapeeth University, Pondicherry. Today's topic is yogic diet. And before coming to further topics, let us see the diet. We all have basic three requirements that we see: roti, kapra and makan, food, shelter and clothing. These three are the basic requirements of every human being. So one of the important component is diet that we are going to talk about. So diet, according to Tablet's Medical Dictionary, if you see, it is defined basically as what we eat and drink. And with diet, there is another component that is very much essential that comes is nutrition. And nutrition is nothing but it is the process in which the ingestion and the utilization of food by which growth, repair, maintenance and activities happens. And all the internal processing, which includes the ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, distribution and elimination, all together combines as a nutrition process. And according to WHO, nutrition is the science of food and its relationship to the health. So the diet and nutrition go hands in hand. Whatever we eat, that is the first part. But after that, what are the other happenings after eating? The functioning, the processing is the nutrition, and both goes hand in hand. So diet and nutrition helps to maintain our body. But there is one question: why do we eat food? Just to make our physical body healthier? The answer is no. The food not only keeps our physical body healthy but also mind stable. It keeps our internal functionings proper. It maintains the equilibrium of the body. So there are many functions of the diet, and which includes as the complexion, good voice, freshness of sense organs, longevity of life, genuineness, happiness, satisfaction, nourishment, strength to all tissues, intellect, helps by giving energy to all life activities. So the food that we eat is not only for our physical body, but it also helps to maintain our mental health as well. And in the coming slides, we are going to know more about the diet. And about the diet, if we go to the Indian traditional text, we get a very huge reservoir, we get the importance of diet. In Chandogya Upanishad, it says, Ahara Shuddho Sattva Shuddhi, Sattva Shuddho Dhruva Smriti, Smriti Lambe Sarva Granthinam Vipra Mokshaha, which means if one eats pure food, one's mind becomes pure. If the mind is pure, one's memory becomes strong and steady. If the memory is good, one becomes free from all bondages. So it leads to the very higher state of conscious state when we have the proper type of diet. So diet is of great significance. And if you see the classification of diet, we have generally two classification. One is the modern classification that we have today, and the ancient classification, which is according to us, we will see in this the yogic diet concept. So we will get a brief summary of the what modern classification of diet is. So the modern classification of diet is based on these three institutions: ICMR, FAO and WHO. So according to these institutions, modern classification of diet has been categorized as follows: classification of food on the basis of nutrients, classification of food according to the functions, classification of food according to the sources from which they come from. So according to the nutrition, we have basically the fats, carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins, minerals and water. So these are the bodybuilding, energy generating and protection providing foods according to the nutrients. So the second classification is the function. So the body building foods, energy giving food and protective foods, these are the classification of the food according to the functions. And on the basis of sources, there are basically two sources that the food come from. One is the plant origin foods and the other one is animal origin foods. So this is the basic modern classification of diet. Now we will come to the ancient classification of diet, and in this perspective we will give a yogic view of diet. So in Bhagavad Gita, there is a verse which says, Yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karbashu yukta swapnava bodhasya yogo bhavati dukha, which means those who are temperate in eating and recreation balance in work, and regulate in sleep can mitigate all sorrows by practicing yoga. So, Yuktahar, the balanced or Yuktahar or the Mitahar, which we'll see in terms of yoga, is very much of importance in maintaining a healthier body and mind. So, the proper functioning of whole body and mind requires a proper amount of food, which says Bhagavad Gita. And in yoga, we say yogic diet in terms of mitahar. Mitahar is the basic term that is referred to the yogic diet. So, in coming slides, whenever I will be mentioning mitahar, that is the actual yogic diet. And if you see, if we separate the words, mita means controlled or balanced, ahara means which we take, which we ingulf. So, that is the mitahar, the good diet. So, the food has basically three components that we can get. One is the sthula, which is the gross part, which makes our physical body. All the physical component that we see, it makes the physical body from the food. The subtle component of the food makes our mind, makes it stable, tensed, stressed, whatever the food qualities, we will get that quality in the subtle part, that is that it affects the mind. The third component is the causal part of the food, which basically is affected the soul, and it makes the sanskara of the body. So, these are the basically three different parts of the food, gross, subtle and causal. And according to the Chaturveda types of food, there are basically 4 types of food we can classify. One is which can be chewed, that is called charva. Second is sucked, which is called as chosya. Third one is licked, which is leha. Third one is drunk, which is peya. So, charva, chosya, leha and peya, these are 4 types of other categorization of food. Now, coming to the text that has the reference of mitahara. So, mitahara has been considered as prerequisite for the pranayam practice in Hat Pradipika. Similarly, Swami Swatma Ram in the Hat Pradipika mentions mitahar as foremost among the yamas, and siddhasana can be accomplished by the person who follows mitahara. And more in this text only we see Sakti Chalana, which is one of the important mudra, can be accomplished by the person who follows mitahar beside other things. So, in yogic text, the importance of mitahar can be seen. Similarly, these are the references that I explained earlier, and where the importance of mitahar has been mentioned. Mitahar is defined as agreeable and sweet food, leaving 1/4 of the stomach free and eaten as an offering to the Lord or the divine Shiva. Similarly, there are many references in Hat Pradipika and Ghiran Sahita where we will get the quality and the type of food and the name of the food that is good for us and that which is not good for us. So, these are some of the food stuffs that are good and that are not good for us. These are mentioned as follows. The most conducive food for the yogi are good grains, wheat, rice, barley, milk, ghee, brown sugar, sugar candy, honey, dry ginger, potato fruit, vegetables, moong, pulses and pure water. And which are not to be taken, these include the bitter, sour taste, pungent, salty, hitting, green vegetables, sour, very oily, alcohol, fish, flesh, food, curds, buttermilk, horse gram, fruit of jujube, oil cakes and many more. So, these are mentioned in the yogic text where food which has to be taken and which are not to be taken. And similarly, the references are seen in another yogic text, that is Ghiran Samhita, where the importance of mitahar has been mentioned. And we will see if further, the diet has a direct relation with the mind. And when we see the mind, we have 3 basic categorization of the mind. And according to the yoga, the diet can be classified in the sattvic, rajasic and tamasic as well. So, the sattvic diet is which gives the clarity and lightness, which includes the quality as graceful, peaceful, disciplined, intuitive and sensitive. After eating the food, we feel a peaceful state of mind, and most of the fruits and vegetables are categorized, are included in this sattvic diet. The second one is the rajasic diet, which inculcates the quality of forcefulness and willpower. and after eating one gets active, positive, demanding, stimulating herbs, spices and many other foods include in this Rajasic diet. The third one is Tamasic, and this Tamasic is basically inculcates the quality of functioning from need and instinct. One who eats the tamasic food have the impulsive, dull, angry, confused sort of nature. And the foodstuffs that include are the meat, fish, poultry, eggs, alcohol, intoxicating drugs, etc. So these are the classification of diet and the mind. And when we talk about a relation between diet and the mind, and the yogic text has a very vast explanation of this, and I will just limit this with a very brief understanding of the conscious states of mind. And according to yogic text, there are basically 5 states or 5 levels of consciousness. One is the Shipt, the lowest state, the Mood, Vikshipt, Ekagra and Nirodh. And these 5 conscious states, the first 3, Shipt, Mood and Vikshipt, these are can be considered as the conscious states of normal human being, and the Ekagra and Nirodh states can be considered as the higher state of the yogis. So if you see, commonly we have basically 3 states, that is Shipta, Mood, Vikshipta according to the yogic texts. And the food that we eat, according to the quality of Sattva, Raj and Tamas, it creates a sense of Sattvic, Rajasic or Tamasic state in our mind. So the food that we take, the quality that it will impact accordingly. So the food quality also have its impact in our mind. Now coming to the concept of food, according to the quality, quantity and mental attitude, let us get a brief idea of these as well. So quality includes the following points. The food item first. Some food items are recommended for eating, whereas some are to be prohibited, which are not to be taken. Some non-veg foods have to be outrightly rejected. Many items are not available which are in the locality, and which are available that has to be taken. Similarly, the dominant rasa, there are basically 6 types of rasa: Madhur, Amla, Lavan, Katu, Tikta, Kashai. These are the basically 6 rasas that maintains the quality of the food, which should be taken, which not should be taken. Madhur and Kash rasa are to be taken. Those are of higher quality, and the dominant guna that we saw previously, Sattvic guna, is of higher quality. Rajasic and Tamasic can be taken in less amount. Similarly, the quantity of the food in yogic text, it mentions the Chatur Ansha Vivarjitaha. The quantity of food is not quantified in terms of some numbers. Instead, they have suggested how the person feels. It has said as per the follows: half of the stomach should be filled with solid food, 1/4 of the stomach should be filled with water, and the last water should be kept empty for free movement of the air. So each individual has his own capacity, and he has to understand that quantity, and according to that, half should be filled with the solid food and the rest will be 1/4 with the water and the air. So this is how the quantity of the food can be maintained. And one more interesting fact about the quantity of the food, in our yogic texts, they mentioned the quantity of the food according to the ashram. Ashram here one means the stages of the life. There are basically 4 stages of life. One is the brahmacharya, second one is grihastha, third one is vanaprastha, and fourth one is sannyasi. Human beings are considered to be live for 100 years, and for 100 years the 25 years is, or 27 years in some text you will find that the lifespan of each of the ashram. 25 or 27 years for a brahmachari, the next quarter is for the grihastha, the third one is for the vanaprastha, and the last quarter is for the sannyasi. So according to the stage of the life, one has different quantity of the food. So for a brahmachari, he should or she should consume as per his capacity and requirements. A grihast should consume only 32 mouthful of food. Sannyasi and vanaprastha should consume only 16 mouthful. of food. And other considerations are also there, and this is one of the most important consideration while eating food, and that is it must be the satisfaction of the God residing inside. So if you are taking food and if you are not happy with the food will not have the effect that it has. So it is very much important to have a good mindset while eating the food, good thought about the food when we are eating, when we are taking the food. And there is a good concept when we pray while before eating the food, that also creates a good impact on the food. And also the source of the food is also important. It is a saying in Hindi, jaisa khai an vaisa bane man. The food that we eat has gradual effect in our mind. So the source of food is also important in that context. The other thing is while cooking food, the attitude is of great importance. What thoughts we have while cooking the food? The person who is cooking the food has some negative thoughts, then the food will also have some negative impact in it. That are a subtle energy aura that we can say that the person has on the food. So that also affects the food quality. And the person who gives the food to the person who wants to eat or who is eating, that also affects. When we see at home the mother, when she gives the food with love and affection, the food whatever it is, it does the good to us. So the effect has on the person who gives as well. So attitude while serving the food is also important. Now last but not the least, we will see the diet and season. So according to the season, there are the concept of diet in yoga and Ayurveda, and according to this, different seasons have different types of foods that we see generally, and according to that our body has also different levels and we have to take food according to that context. For example, in the summer season, if we will categorize the seasons, months according to the Indian calendar, according to the English calendar, we will see that the March and April month is the starting of the Indian calendar, that is Chaitra. Then the Vaishakh, May, June, Jyesht, Asad, Shravan, Bhadrapad, Ashwin, Kartik, Margshish, Posh, Magh, Phagun. So these are the months, and according to the English calendar, we will see the March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, like that. So when we see that these 12 months are divided into 6 seasons, and it basically starts from the Vasant, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemant and Shishir. Vasant is nothing but the spring, Grishma is the summer, Varsha is the monsoon, Sharad is the pre-winter we can say, Hemant is the winter, Shishir is the post-winter, and like that these are the 6 seasons. So in these seasons, the Vasant, which is the starting month of the Indian calendar, it is the Madhyam Avastha of the body, which is the average health that a body can experience. In that time, one should eat only the moderate kind of food, which is easy to digest, not very difficult to digest. Similarly, in the Grishma and the Varsha Ritu, or the summer and the monsoon season, one should take the light food because the body condition is very weak, which is called Hina Swasthya, poor health. So one should take very light and very liquid diet to maintain the physical and mental health. Similarly, during the Sharad and Hemant Ritu, we will find the body's condition as, or basically in the Sharad Ritu, the body's condition as the Madhyam Swasthya or average health. Similar, we have to take a moderate quality, moderate food for our healthy body. And similarly, when the season comes of the winter, we have to take, like the season of Hemant and Shishir, one should take any food which is heavy in nature and it can be easily digested. And that time of period is very higher in terms of health. That is called the good health or the Uttam Swasthya. In that time, one can take heavy food of higher quality as well. The amount of food doesn't matter in that time because the body, the digestive fire is of higher state, it is in its peak. So if one takes heavier food also, he or she can digest them. So according to the seasons, one should take the diet as well. One should take care of which season it is, and one should take care of the body condition, and according to that we can take the diet. So with all these things that we saw previously, we can come to a conclusion that diet is an important part of our life. Without food we can't survive, without food we can't get energy, but that energy should not be limited to our physical body, but it should also reaches to the other states of our body, that is the mind and the soul. So we should eat food not for our physical body but for our mind and soul as well, because all three are integrated, and when these are nourished properly, we can excel at every walk of life. So diet helps in the excellence of our existence. So that's all for now, and thank you all.